Welcome. Today we're going beneath the surface of something many people use every day, online dating apps, specifically Tinder. We're looking past the swipes and the profiles into the darker side. We're recounting some truly terrifying real-life encounters. These aren't just cautionary tales. They're stark warnings about who might actually be hiding behind that screen. Stories of manipulation, stalking, violence. Our aim here is to really show the dangers, the shocking ways people can be targeted when they let their guard down, even for a moment. These are dark lessons learned the hard way.
And what's really disturbing when you analyze these cases is the methodology. It's often not random, it's calculated, predatory really, exploiting that basic human desire for connection, twisting it. People ignore red flags they might otherwise see.
Exactly. That desire overrides suspicion. Let's dive into the first account. We're calling this one the Tinder ambush. This involved an avid dating app user. He admitted himself he'd gotten a bit complacent, less careful over time. He matches with Teresa. Beautiful photos, seemed direct, charming, and she very quickly pushes for a meetup. Like right away, casual.
That immediacy itself can be a pressure tactic, reduces time for second thoughts.
Right. And then the excuses start piling up. Red flags, looking back. First, she says she can't leave her house, claims her dog is sick.
Controlling the location from the start.
Then she says she's embarrassed about where she lives, calls it a not great area, but insists he has to come over that night, and only when her aunt, who supposedly lives there, is gone. The timing is incredibly specific, urgent.
Creating a very narrow window of opportunity, isolating the target, ensuring no potential witnesses like this aunt.
And the strangest part, even after he agrees to all this, she takes a full hour to actually send the address, just radio silence for an hour.
That delay. That sounds like planning time? Coordinating maybe?
Right.
Finalizing the setup?
So he finally gets the address and drives out. It's about a 20-minute drive. And the place he arrives at, it immediately feels wrong. He describes this street of just old, broken-down houses. Some looked abandoned. It's pitch black, except for one single flickering streetlight.
The setting itself is a warning. Deterioration, isolation.
You can't see any house numbers. Nothing. So he messages her, like, "Where are you? I don't see any numbers." The reply comes back instantly, and it's just chilling. "I see you," followed by a smiling emoji.
That emoji in that context, it's pure menace, turning observation into a threat.
That's exactly when the physical horror starts. He looks across the street and sees a figure waving, wearing a black sweatshirt. He assumes it's Teresa. He starts walking towards the figure, and boom, it happens that fast. Two men just emerge from a driveway right next to where the figure was. Before he can even react, he's hit hard with something he later realized was a baseball bat. Then they're kicking him while he's on the ground.
Swift, brutal violence. The ambush is sprung the second he commits to approaching.
And the person who ran out from the house, the one waving, the one he thought was Teresa, he described them later as a huge dude.
So the profile, the entire persona of Teresa was just bait. A disposable lure constructed specifically for this, calculated deception.
They took his wallet, inside, $4 cash, an empty debit card. That's it. He ended up with 2 broken ribs for basically nothing. And here's the kicker. He calls the police, obviously. By the time they're involved, the Teresa Tinder profile, gone, deleted, vanished.
Which makes it incredibly difficult for law enforcement. No digital trail, no easy identification. It highlights the ephemeral nature of these platforms being exploited by criminals, premeditated, organized, and almost untraceable afterwards.
Terrifying outcome. Let's shift to another story, the trail encounter. This shows how genuine feelings can inadvertently lower your defenses. This user was quite shy, anxious about dating again after a long relationship ended. He matches with Danny. Their first date is in a local park. Beautiful day. And he says he felt instantly calm with her, happy. A real connection.
That feeling of safety is powerful, especially after anxiety.
Too powerful, maybe, because it led to a crucial mistake. As it started getting dark, they decided to walk onto one of the park trails. He admitted later it's something he never would have done alone, or even usually on a first date. But he felt safe with Danny. They were holding hands near the parking lot still when they see him. A figure standing in the walkway ahead, barely visible in the dim light. And he's hiding something behind his back.
That posture, concealment, it's an immediate sign of potential threat. Instinct kicks in, or should.
They get closer, maybe 10 feet away, and the man steps forward, reveals a knife. The command was blunt. Turn around and put your hands above your head. Just like that. Total shift from a nice date to this.
The randomness is jarring. A violent encounter intersecting a moment of potential intimacy. But what happens next is interesting.
Yeah, the user describes Danny as suddenly becoming this little spitfire. Instead of complying, she just charges the attacker, knocks him off balance, screams at the user, "Run, get to the car." Just pure instinct, pure adrenaline.
Remarkable bravery. Or perhaps a fight-or-flight response manifesting as fight.
They managed to get away in her car, shaken, obviously. He describes these incredibly mixed feelings afterwards. On one hand, the app led him to a situation where he nearly got killed. On the other, that shared moment of terror, her reaction, it forged something incredibly strong between them.
Trauma bonding is a complex phenomenon. Shared crisis can accelerate intimacy dramatically.
Absolutely. Danny is now his fiancée, so the app almost led to his death, but also introduced him to his future wife.
Yeah.
It's quite a story.
A stark reminder that violence can erupt anywhere, but also that human connection, even found online, can lead to profound outcomes.
Okay, let's look at another angle. Conspiracy and theft. This is the traveling robber. This user was traveling for work. Staying in an Airbnb, so temporary place, unfamiliar area, he matches with a woman named Jen. He said the date went perfectly. She looked exactly like her pictures. Conversation flowed. Everything seemed great. Zero red flags.
That's often how the most effective cons work. Utterly normal, disarming, until the trap is sprung.
They head back to his Airbnb near midnight. And this is where the deception begins. Jen says she wants to smoke a cigarette outside, but she insists he go inside first. Says she doesn't want him to see her lighting up or something like that. Makes an excuse.
That's the moment. Creating separation, getting him inside and potentially distracted while she executes the next step. It's a classic setup.
He goes inside, waits a few minutes, starts to wonder what's taking so long. He looks out the window, and he sees her, Jen. But she's not alone. She's with two other men he's never seen before, and they're sneaking around the side of the house.
Oh, wow. So she was the scout, the inside person.
Exactly. He ducks down instantly, realizing he's been set up for a robbery, a coordinated plot.
This is textbook casing followed by entry. Jen's role was to verify the target, gain access, and ensure the coast was clear for her accomplices. And the source material mentions something particularly cold here. While she was inside the house with the thieves, she actually sent the victim a Tinder message.
Yeah, unbelievable. The message said something like, "Hey, where'd you go? I'm inside and I can't find you."
It wasn't confusion, it was surveillance. Confirming his location outside and his status, making sure he wasn't about to walk in on them. Chillingly calculated.
He's outside, hiding, watching them through the window. He sees one of the men heading towards his laptop bag. His whole work life is on it. He has to think fast. He messages Jen back, a total lie. Says, "Call the police, they'll be here in 30 seconds.
Smart move, using the threat of imminent authority.
It worked. He hears Jen scream inside, alerting the others. The three of them burst out the door and run off into the night. Right past him, hiding in the dark. He checked later. They only managed to grab some random art pieces, silverware, nothing truly valuable except maybe sentimentally. But the disturbing part, he knows Jen is likely still out there, using the same method, targeting travelers in temporary places, using trust as a weapon.
It's a deeply violating crime, using the pretense of intimacy to facilitate theft, exploiting vulnerability, especially when someone's away from home.
Absolutely terrifying. Now, what about when you're not even on the app?
Yeah.
Our next story is the digital stalker. The victim here wasn't using Tinder at all. A friend contacts him, says, "Hey, I think I found you on Tinder." But it wasn't him. It was a fake profile using his name, his old pictures from social media. And worse, the profile directed people to his public Instagram account, which had his full name and face. Identity theft, basically.
This is a nightmare scenario. Your identity co-opted and used on a platform you're not even part of. Complete loss of control over your own image.
He messages the fake account, demanding they take it down. And that's when the harassment starts. Not just ignoring him, but sending creepy messages back. It culminates one night around 3 a.m. He gets a message from the fake account. Just 2 characters. A double dot smiley face.
That specific smiley, the double dot, that's often used online to convey something unsettling, passive-aggressive, or knowing. In this context, late at night, it implies surveillance, watching.
Psychological warfare, like you said. Making him feel watched, targeted, without an overt threat. Just unease. Then the following weekend, it escalates dramatically. From digital to physical, he's home alone, he gets another message, "I know where you are." Same creepy smiley. And immediately after, a photo arrives.
No.
A photo of the outside of his house, taken from across the street.
That crosses a terrifying line. The boundary between online harassment and real-world threat is just shattered. They're not just online anymore, they're there.
He's terrified. Later that same night, another message, "I know where you sleep." This time, it's accompanied by a picture of a window, his window,
unbelievable. The violation is complete. They're mapping his private space.
He completely loses it, grabs a baseball bat, runs outside onto his porch, just starts screaming threats into the darkness, yelling about having a dog, about calling the police, both lies, just pure panic. He never saw anyone, but the feeling of being watched, of his home being compromised by this anonymous stalker who stole his identity, it's horrifying.
And it proves a chilling point. You don't have to participate in online dating to become a victim. Your digital footprint, photos, name, they can be weaponized against you, leading to real-world fear and intimidation.
It's a truly modern kind of terror. Okay, fifth story. The door unlocked. This one involves, well, a lot of ignored signs and betrayal. The user matches with a woman named Felicia. First date, they're at a bar, and he notices this guy in a Yankees hat staring at them. Yeah. Felicia points him out, says, "Ugh, that's my crazy ex's best friend. He follows me sometimes." Big red flag, right? But she frames it as her being the victim.
Creating a narrative, controlling the perception of the situation, painting the ex as the problem.
He buys into it. He also overlooks another flag.
Yeah.
She always refuses to go back to her place, says she has too many roommates, always ends up back at his place.
Again, controlling the environment, keeping her own life separate and hidden.
Fast forward a few weeks. They're at his house. Felicia gets a phone call. It's explosive. It sounds like a huge argument. He assumes it's the crazy ex. Shortly after the call ends, they hear noise outside. Loud banging. Two large men are at his front door trying to kick it in. He recognizes one of them. It's the guy in the Yankees hat from the bar. The other guy, he learns later, has a buzz cut confirmed to be the ex.
So the crazy ex story was at least partially true in that the ex was apparently agitated, but her role
becomes terrifyingly clear in the next moment. As the men are kicking the door, about to break it down, Felicia runs towards the door, and she unlocks it, just lets them in, throws the deadbolt, opens the door, and these two angry men barge into his house.
Wow, that's a level of betrayal that's hard to comprehend, actively enabling the invasion of his home.
He scrambles, hides in a closet, terrified, listening. And he hears Felicia pleading with the ex, not defending the user, but saying things like, "Let's just go home. Please, let's go home. I promise I'll never do this again."
The truth comes out.
The light bulb goes off in his head, hiding there. He wasn't dating a woman with a crazy ex. He was the side guy, the other man. He was dating a married woman, and her husband just found out.
The entire narrative she constructed was false. He was cast in a role he didn't even know he was playing.
Apparently, the couple eventually reconciled. The husband actually paid for the damage to the user's door, maybe believing he really was ignorant of the situation. But the user was left just reeling, thinking about how easily he ignored the signs, the guy at the bar, her never going to her place because he believed the emotional story she sold him.
It shows how effectively emotional manipulation can blind someone to logical inconsistencies and warning signs. Believing the story feels better than facing the uncomfortable truth.
A hard lesson. Finally, let's look at a pair of stories under the banner, The Farmhouse Trap. This really emphasizes predatory isolation. A female user talks about matching with a guy named Kyle. He was persistent, pushy. It culminated in him demanding she meet him at a party, by making her literally beg on her hands and knees at her workplace to get him to agree.
That is incredibly coercive and degrading behavior. A massive red flag from the outset. Humiliation as a form of control.
She reluctantly agrees, feeling pressured. He gives her an address. She drives out late at night. It takes her 36 minutes to get there. She arrives at a farmhouse. It's pitch black. No lights, no sounds of a party, just silence. Kyle's waiting outside. He seems heavily intoxicated, slewing his words. He guides her towards a barn on the property. Says the party's in there.
Isolation tactic number 1, remote location. Number 2, moving the potential victim to a secondary, even more isolated spot like a barn.
She goes inside the barn. There's no party, no music, no people, just Kyle and two other men, older guys, maybe 40s or 50s. And unlike Kyle, they are completely sober. And they look sketchy.
The dynamic shifts instantly. Intoxicated lure, sober accomplices. This feels very, very planned.
Her gut screams danger. She immediately says, "Nope, I'm leaving," turns around to go, and Kyle's voice changes completely. The drunken slurring vanishes. It becomes cold, sober, serious. He says, "No, you're not leaving."
The mask drops. The intoxication was likely an act, part of the lure. Now the control is asserted directly.
Luckily, she was prepared. She had pepper spray. She sprays one of the older men in the face, turns and runs as fast as she can back to her car. She floors it, doesn't stop driving until she reaches a 24-hour gas station miles away. She sits there shaking, checking her entire message history with Kyle. She's terrified that somewhere in their conversations, she might have accidentally given away her home address.
That paranoia is justified. After an escape like that, the fear of being tracked or found later is immense. The isolation was the key component of the trap she narrowly avoided.
But her encounters don't end there. The same user shared another disturbing experience. A different Tinder date, a guy named Ron. He catfished her. Used much older photos. The date itself was just awkward, bad coffee. She ends it quickly. No big deal. Happens all the time, right?
Yeah, catfishing is unfortunately common, usually just disappointing, not dangerous.
Usually. But a few nights later, it's 1:27 a.m. She looks out her window, and parked in her driveway is a red pickup truck. The exact red pickup truck from Ron's old Tinder profile picture. The one he used to catfish her.
Oh, that is deeply unsettling. He knows where she lives. And he's there in the middle of the night after a bad date.
She freezes. Doesn't know what to do. Eventually the truck leaves. But then she starts seeing it again. Parked down the street from her house sometimes. Near her workplace other times. To this day, she still sees that red truck around. She doesn't know for sure if it's him, if he's being watched, stalked, or if it's just paranoia after everything else. That uncertainty.
That lingering fear, the ambiguity, that's a form of psychological torment too. The what if.
So these stories, identity theft, ambushes, elaborate robberies, stalking, betrayal, near abduction, they paint a grim picture. It underscores the absolute necessity for caution. Extreme caution when meeting people online. The potential dangers are very real and can be very severe.
The digital world offers connection, but it also offers anonymity and tools for manipulation that predators readily exploit. Vigilance is paramount.
We want to leave you with a piece of advice from one of the people who shared their story. It's simple but crucial. Just be careful. People do have agendas and they do have baggage. Remember that. Horror Docx. Thank you for joining us for this deep dive into the shadows of online dating. Remember, every swipe could be a risk, every match, a question mark waiting to be answered. Stay safe out there.